My mom had the best insult about us.
Oh, mom's just
she just drilled us. Yes. You want to hear what she said the other day? She goes, you know, you and Karo are great. She's like, you guys are like the 1% without being the 1%. Man of the year, man of the year, man of the year.
Welcome to the #1 friendship podcast in the country. I'm Aaron Karo.
I'm Matt Ritter.
So Matt, as you know, my dad is a toy salesman.
Yeah. Oh man, Tickle Me Elmo was the rage of Plainview.
Tickle Me Elmo paid for college. My dad's worked for toy companies his entire career. And he's worked for really big companies and he's also worked for small companies. But there was a brief period where he worked on his own.
I didn't know that.
His own little private consulting type thing. And he made business cards. And the business cards read, Al Karo, Vice President.
Of his own company?
Right?
Wait, what? You just blew my mind.
Right.
There's something clever about this.
No, me and my sister were like, well, why you say Vice President? You can do whatever you want. He goes, well, I don't know. I'm the Vice President.
Okay, so I have so many thoughts.
Yeah.
One is, was he thinking that it would be weird for it to say president, like a president doesn't walk around with cards at all? Was that the logic of like, you know, a president doesn't need the cards. Like president is not out there peddling.
You don't think Joe Biden is like,
president. Yeah. Like vice president, gotta go peddle his wares.
I think it was because like when he was at Mattel, he was like the VP of sales. So he just thought of himself.
He was like, you know what? People won't believe I've gotten a promotion. He's like, I'm a vice president.
Now we have to be careful what we say about that.
No, exactly. We can delete that. No,
it's fine. It's funny.
No, I know. We're thinking, why did he not put SVP?
Yeah.
I don't even think SVP was a thing back then.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a new category that got created for all the mediocrity and the bloat, the corporate bloat, right? Like, because there were like so many VPs and then people are like, well, I'm never going to be president.
I can't even keep track. Is EVP better than
SVP? Now there's EVP. That's
higher.
He goes vice. So vice president is basically like if you're in the military, like private at this point.
Yeah.
Right. SVP is like colonel.
Yeah.
And EVP is like general.
Yeah. You mean you have no idea the
military
ranks.
Yeah. Was that right? I don't know.
When they say like, oh, CNN's like Brigadier General is going to come on. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's why nobody knows what Brigadier General is.
Yeah. Anyway, the point being is that you can make your own titles in this world.
Ooh.
And I realize in our company that we're building here, the only one who has a title is Theo. Producer Theo.
What's our title?
Producer. Well, I'm going to bestow titles on us right now.
Hit me.
We're both going to be CFOs. Chief Friendship Officers.
Yes. I won't do it.
You don't know how to do it.
I love this.
Chief Friendship Officers.
CFOs, baby.
And I think that we should take the title of Chief Friendship Officer or CFO and encourage our listeners and our friends to apply it to their own lives. I think that everyone should be the CFO of their own life.
I like it.
And
I like it a lot.
It's really about...
And I want them to have cards.
Yeah, no, we're going to have cards.
Yeah.
Once we get a real CEO, because we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Oh, right. We're going to need a CEO. I think part of this is because neither of us have CEO abilities.
No, we're real. we got big EVP energy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about like they always go like, oh, you know, you should start a company with somebody we do have different skills, but neither of us have the CEO skill. I don't want in an ideal world, you're supposed to have one guy who has the business set, a lawyer and a finance guy with no nary a business sense.
Right. Like in WeWork, it was like the guy and then like the crazy guy. Right. We're sort of neither of them.
No, we're neither. We do have complementary skill sets, just not useful ones.
Yes. We complement each other in ways that doesn't matter.
I love this. CFOs.
So I want to talk about being the chief friendship officer of your own life, which is also another way of being intentional with your friendships, which is the basis of the whole podcast.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we talk today about, what it means to be the CFO of your life and how you can implement some CFO strategies. Now, one thing I wanted to start with, you said something really interesting yesterday.
Yes, I did. No idea what it was.
Do you not know?
Every day I say something. Of all my stupid ideas, one of them is a gem.
Well, we were sort of talking about like in everyone's friend group is different, like unique, like a snowflake, right? So like you sort of working with your friend group is going to be different than me working with my friend group.
What I specifically said, I remember this, was that I think everybody has to remember that they are the center of their universe.
Right.
And sometimes that gets lost in people's sort of passiveness and sort of their role in the friend group or whatever. And then you're kind of in somebody else's friend orbit and you haven't intentionally chosen your own, and your aims are not going to be the same.
Right. So we always want to be the main character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not whether you want to be or not. Like, you can choose to kind of be like a background actor in your own life, but you're not.
I think it's called an NPC.
An NPC, yeah. You could choose, but you're actually not. You're actually the main character.
Right.
You are the main character in your story, whether you choose to be or not. It's probably better off for the outcome of the rest of your life if you choose to be the main character.
Yeah. So one of the roles of a real CFO.
Oh God, I have no idea what they do.
By the way, we should say you were a corporate lawyer. I was on Wall Street, so we should know some of this stuff.
We do. We play down our intelligence because we don't want to sound too elite. My mom had the best insult about us.
Oh, mom's just
drilled us. Yes. You want to hear what she said the other day? She goes, you know, you and Karo are great. She's like, you guys are like the 1% without being the 1%.
Dude, that's fucking...
Ellen knifed me in the chest. Just knifed. I'm like, Mom, can you buy me some jeans from Bloomies?
So she's like, you're like the 1% without the
wealth.
Yeah.
She was like, you're elitist scum without the money.
Right. Well, at least we know what the cold open of this pod is going to be. Shout out to Ellen. That was hilarious and true. But auditing, right? Auditing is very important for a CFO. And something that I wanted to bring up, we haven't talked about in a while on this show, is your social universe, your social inventory, and your social fitness, which are, I think they're sort of becoming muddled of all the same thing.
Okay, why don't we clarify it for the audience?
Yeah. So social fitness is our ultimate goal, which is exercising your social fitness, being mindful of your relationships, your friendships, watering them, and just being aware of them.
Right.
And then one of the components of social fitness would be what now I'm saying is audit, but taking your social inventory, which is like, who are my friends?
Right. Who are they? What are my relationships with them?
Right.
Which ones need work? Which ones don't need work?
Yeah. So
which ones are serving me? Which ones aren't serving me?
Yeah. And so we said a while back that a good time to do this is on your birthday, which I just had, and I was able to do this.
Yes.
So as we know, I'm a little bit of an extreme example, but I have a spreadsheet of all my friends.
Yes.
And when I was inviting them to my birthday, that sort of mentally went down and said, like, who haven't I seen?
Well, I'm very interested in this because we started the podcast and neither of us had a birthday since we started the pod.
Right.
And so I'm curious if all the things we've talked about in the pod filtered into like who you invited. Like, did it change the way you looked at like your friendship universe specifically with regards to your birthday?
Yeah, I was definitely more mindful of it. You know, you see people that are on the list every year.
Right.
And you're like, I have not seen them since the last birthday.
Right.
And now, to your point, Matthew, that could either mean one of two things. I need to reach out. I need to better be a friend, or maybe this is wilting.
And maybe it should be wilting. Maybe it's not serving you. Maybe there's a season for cleaning out the closet of friendship and going shopping for some new friends.
Yeah. So actually, let's put a pin in the audit for 1 second, because this leads me to another CFO responsibility, which is obviously I went on ChatGPT and said, what does the CFO do? Yeah. Allocating resources.
Oh.
And this is something you've been touching on the past few episodes, which is like, okay, we have, especially your dad, new dad.
Yeah.
You have finite resources.
Oh, Jesse has made that very clear.
So when there's a friend who, okay, they're not inner circle, they're floating towards the outer rim.
That's a variable cost.
Right. That's a variable cost.
That's an expenditure that's not a fixed monthly. Which ones can we?
Right.
Actually, Jesse and I did a financial audit recently of our spending. And we looked at some of the things. Oh, God.
Wait, what was it on? Was it an Excel, Google Docs? Excel or
Google
Sheets?
Docs. It's the same thing. Google Sheets. She uses Google Sheets.
Yeah.
But it was a spreadsheet. Mm-hmm. And she highlighted the ones that she thought we could chop.
We're going to get off topic, but I have 1,000 questions.
One of them being Soho House.
Is it done?
No.
Yeah,
I haven't agreed to it. This was our first convo.
But a financial audit, like you have a credit card, but the credit card is just a number every month. So you had to actually go into the statements.
We broke it down by type of thing. So like we didn't go into every restaurant, but we went into all.
But I'm saying you went into
yeah.
Amex.
So the credit card, our credit card now does that, where it divides it up: restaurants, lodging, whatever.
Got it. So you saw one was a real peak.
Yeah, there were a few that were like, you know, the Hamptons house, anything house.
Yeah,
everything house.
Yeah.
Anything with the word house.
This house, that house.
Yeah, everything with the word house in it was.
And you end up in the doghouse.
Yeah, doghouse. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I am kind of in the doghouse, but you know, when you start breaking it down that way, I think it's relevant because, well, first of all, my life's going to get a lot less fun. No, but it's relevant for this because, yes, when you're talking about these floating friends, it's like, oh, when you're talking about allocation of resources, it's like, what is really important? What is really important? Because this podcast is trying to be serious about what is important, what is intentional to make your relationship, friendship universe serve you.
And we had this great listener question recently about the guy whose some of the friends were not really there for him.
Yeah.
And he had another group of friends. Well, that's allocating resources.
Totally.
Bandwidth, mental resources.
Right. This is separate from like, hey, I should be friends with this person. I shouldn't be friends with this person. This is just like, hey, if you're looking at it like you're a CFO.
Right.
Like just separate from making individual decisions, just big picture CFO, like where am I allocating my friendship energy? Right. Not just time, energy.
And I think I used the word intentional before, but another word that I want to use was mindful. Like this is an important part of a man's life.
Yeah.
So we need to treat it as such.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I'm looking at the people who don't ever come to the birthday, part of me was like, well, throw an invite out anyway.
Right.
And part of me was like, all right, let's delete.
Yeah. I over invite just out of like the insecurities / like narcissism of like needing to be surrounded by a massive throng of strangers who barely know me, who think I'm cooler than I am. I don't want to just be surrounded by the people that really know me. No,
right.
Not just my real friends. No.
Oh wait, that just reminded me of something. Oh, over inviting. Now the Matt Ritter, God, what's the word? Not rule, but what's the Matt Ritter like theory of the case? Over inviting costs you nothing.
Right.
Do you still stand by that?
Yeah, no, I still stand by for big birthday gatherings. It's like, because for me, it's like at my core, I'm like also a pleaser. I like to make sure everybody's having fun. And like, I'm always like worried that there aren't going to be enough like single people there to hang out, like all these stupid thoughts.
Right. I mean, just no single people.
No, I know. And I feel I invited some of the actor people last time.
Yeah.
I try for you. I was thinking about you.
But the thing is, you invite those 10 over invites and they're probably one of them come, which is
fine.
Fine.
Well, I think what I'm hoping to happen when I do that is like, I'm going to make a decision on whether I'm going to intentionally bring them closer to my circle or not.
Right.
I sort of use those times to kind of refresh myself. And I think that's probably what you do too with your birthday, which is what you're talking about, of like refreshing of like, do I want to be friends with this person?
Yeah.
Or like, if they don't show up, am I friends with this person? That's a simple one. Like, okay, they've made that decision simple. They don't show up.
And a friendship audit is also important because you are taking stock of how good a friend you've been. You know, I missed this guy's birthday.
Right.
You know,
it's two ways, right?
Yeah.
You're auditing yourself, right? I like what you're saying about auditing yourself, right? Again, you're the CFO of your life, right? You're the chief friendship officer of your life. It's nobody else's responsibility to make you a good friend. Right. So both ways. To me, it's nobody's responsibility to be a good friend to you. And it's nobody's responsibility for you to be a good friend. But when you create an environment, if you're doing your audit and you're creating an environment like, oh, you know what? I got to spend time, I got to allocate resources to these friends who show up for me, for the friends that I know I can call when I need something, or the friends I can call when I'm excited about something, right? The people who won't be jealous of my wins, right? The people who won't be dismissive of my wins, or, you know, won't be empathetic enough. Sometimes you need more empathy as you get older and, you know, the ups and downs of life. But I also was thinking, just side note, I feel like I get bombarded with, on Instagram, maybe it's like self-selecting, I get bombarded with all these influencers or like entrepreneur stuff and also gurus, right, about health and fitness or whatever, and all this stuff. And they're all like, oh, you know, you have to do these things to make $1 million, or you have to do this thing to become in great shape. And like, I keep going back to the thing of what we're doing is more important. Like, this is it. Your partners and your friends and your social fitness. It's not just about the science of making you live longer. It's just the people who have that part down right are just happier in life. That's what it's about. You live once. You want to be happy. It starts with your relationships. It doesn't start with, you becoming a billionaire. Like friendship billionaire does.
Friends first, finances second.
Yes.
One of the things that you were sort of mentioning, one of the tenets of the podcast, be the friend.
Yeah.
And being the CFO of your life is another way of saying like, you need to be
the friend to yourself.
Yeah.
I also think like, I don't want to be cocky about it, but it's like, if you're spending 2 hours listening to Instagram influencers about money stuff, then like spend an hour listening to somebody. If it's not us, listen to somebody about how to have better friendships, because you're going to be better off. If you look back at those two things, I guarantee if you listen to this pod every week for a year, or you listen to some finance pod every day for a year, like your overall life will be better if you listen to us.
Wow. Bold statement.
Bold statement.
Can we just talk for a moment about doing a friendship audit for those of our listeners who have, a bit of a more modest crew? Like, is it still important if,
Yes. I sometimes feel, we do get some messages of like, oh, I'm not like you guys. I don't have a lot of friends. I have one friend, or I have no friends, or I have two friends. And, I don't want you guys to feel like this isn't for you, or we're not talking to you. We are talking to you. We're just referencing it from our own perspective, but we are, trying to get inside the minds of all of our listeners and all of their different friendship dilemmas and to work those out. And if you have a small crew, I almost think it's even more important.
Yeah.
Like if you have two friends that are serving you well, like treasure that first of all.
Yeah.
And you should still always be looking for ways to improve it. We can all, improve our social fitness. But also, again, our podcast is about like, you don't need to have 10 friends, but if you have one, you could probably have another one. You're probably in the market for another one, and it's not as difficult as it may seem.
By the way, someone did message me once, like, you guys have a lot of friends. Like, how am I going to learn anything? I'm like, would you rather get friendship advice from someone who has no friends?
Totally.
I mean,
totally.
We understand. We understand.
We, as I said, we're friendship billionaires. Yeah. We know what we're talking about.
We're rich in friends.
Yeah.
So you brought up, if you only have a couple friends, being mindful of those relationships. Another job of a CFO is scheduling. Your quarterlies, your calendar. And one thing we haven't talked about in so long, which is literally the bedrock of the pod, is rituals and traditions. So by rituals and traditions, we mean literally anything from what me and Matt and our buddies have, which is once a year, we have a gigantic dinner and give out a trophy, to third Thursday of the month, you get beers with your buddies.
Book club.
Wine club.
Mom walks.
Ultimate Frisbee games. Fantasy football.
Golf outing.
Yeah. Anything that recurs.
Yes.
Because what we're trying to do is take out, a lot of our listeners are like, well, I haven't seen my friends in a while. Let's take out the guesswork.
Right. Watch The Real Housewives at their house.
I just saw The Real Housewives live.
You did. Yeah,
Fireball Adam took me to see The Real Housewives of Orange County.
Are you in the inner circle yet of the Housewives? I would love that.
I mean, one of the housewives, Shannon something or other, Shannon Storm something, she looked at all my stories.
Should we get her on the pod?
But the last story I said, I don't know who these people are.
Well, we don't, but we want to.
I think that's why.
But I think it's better to be honest with them. Don't be like, oh, I know all your stuff.
What I will say is, and our friends are reality fans, Bravo junkies. I have no idea who the Real Housewives are. I don't know anything about anything. Don't know who anybody is. They put on this show, and it was pretty good.
Damn it!
Like,
are they better than us at stand-up?
Damn it! That's a great response. I think you would have appreciated it because they clearly worked on it. Like they had choreography, they danced, and they were in on the joke.
Yeah. You have to be.
That, I was like, we'd hate when people are not in on the joke.
Yeah, you got to be in on it. So they're totally in on it.
They're making coin.
Wow.
But
we should be friends with some of them. I feel like that would add to our circle.
We're working our way into it.
To have some housewives in our circle.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Also, like, aren't they, their whole thing is friendship, right? So maybe we should get two of the housewives who beef.
Well, you know what these three housewives are called that we went to see, the Tres Amigas.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
But what we're saying is, with your buddies, create a ritual.
Yes.
Even if it's literally, every 2 weeks, once a month, we're going to watch Monday Night Football.
Right.
Put it in the calendar.
Right.
And also, and Matt, tell me what you think about this. If there are significant others involved, tell them this is what's happening.
Right.
So then someone's going to be like, well, Bob said I can't go today.
Right.
You see, like how I use the same sex spouse
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Or Jill said I can't go. No, it's in the calendar
Yeah.
because, as we've said many times, like Jess, your wife, is very aware of our rituals and traditions. She respects it because she knows she needs you out of the house. She knows friendship is important to your husband.
But also the other thing is, if you don't tell them, like a lot of the people who are listening to this pod are struggling and they have a partner, they're letting their partner guide their whole relationship universe, and they're just hanging out with their partner's choice of people to hang out with. And that may not be what you need. You may not just need your wife's friend's husband. That may not be the guy that you need. You may not, you may need a guy or a girl that does the activities you like, or just has the same values as you, into the same TV shows you're into. And that's what you want to, talk about.
So another interesting metric I wanted to talk to you about, real CFOs uses KPIs, key performance indicators, or metrics.
Oh, we're really getting deep into the numbers.
We're getting deep, which is like, what could be a friendship KPI if you're the CFO of your own life that you could, say to yourself, oh, I had a good month, I had a good year.
Okay, so have I reached out to X number of my friends?
Check-ins.
How many check-ins, right? I think that's an easy one. How many check-ins have I done this month? Because these people who are like out of work, and they always tend to do this when they're out of work. They don't do it when they have a job, but they're out of work and they go, I'm going to have a coffee a day. I'm going to do all the meetups. Like, you could also be doing that while you're employed, right? So it's like, a lot of times we just wait till our life is in the dumps and we're like, damn, I got to do some outreach, Not that your life is in the dumps if you don't have a job, but I just think that we always wait till we're at this like critical moment. We're like, oh my God, all these people I know, I'd never reach out to them, right? It's like, well, if we do KPIs, where it's like, hey, check in with 3 friends a month. I'm just saying, like, I'm just making up an arbitrary number,
Well, that just reminded me, you're talking about the people who have those coffees. In our younger days, or even still now, people who are dating and they're on a mission. They're like, I have 3 dates. I go to the same bullet thing. I was never able to really do that. I'm actually kind of jealous of people who are like, I'm on a mission.
I know a lot of women who have successfully gotten married to good people. And it's not like, I think some people are dismissive of that mentality. They think it's like too...
it's not like romantic.
Yes. Some people think it's not romantic. And I actually think those partners who have been very thoughtful and intentional about what they were looking for, and they didn't do it randomly, they knew exactly what they were looking for. A lot of people think it's not romantic, but as you get older, you go, oh, they were smart. Yeah. I see a lot of people now going, I want her advice. I have a couple of family members that were like really intentional and smart. And it's like, now a lot of other women go and get their advice. They're like, what did they do right? Because they chose a good partner for them, not just like, oh, I wanted to, get married at X age. So I look at it like, and maybe that's the thing about friendship too, right? Like, it hasn't worked in 2023 to just leave it to chance. And this isn't just dating, right? This is friendship too. It's not working anymore. It's not working to just leave it to chance. Like, oh, I'll have friends, right? It's like, no, you won't. You're in your 40s. Like, you're busy. You may not have friends if you're not intentional about it.
Yeah. A few other KPIs I thought of. Tell one of your buddies you love them.
Mm-hmm. That's hard.
Once a year?
Yeah.
Once every 6 months?
Yeah.
I mean, I told you.
I already like.
That was old, Matt.
My heart went
stone. That was old, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, I like it, but again, I want to relate to, I know that there's so many people out there that have a hard time with the emoting aspect of it. And I don't want to say that has to be like a core piece of, making sure you're doing your chief.
Well, I think we can.
I think showing gratitude in whatever way.
Yeah, but I'm saying
you don't have to say I love you yet.
Well, they can start with thank you.
Yes,
because
it's a gateway.
Thanks is a gateway emotion. I just want to say I can't think of the word. I have a higher. Higher expectations.
Yeah. No. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Tell one friend you love them every.
Listen,
quarter.
If you're listening to this pod right now, guys, I know you have a best friend or a buddy that you haven't said I love you to in a minute or ever.
I'm with you, Karo. I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah.
I'm saying it now, and we say that every episode, but it's funny. Old Matt went to I don't know if I want to make guys do that.
Because you know what? Your buddy's going to write back, I love you too, man.
Yeah.
That was weird. Why'd you text me in the middle of the day?
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I like it. What else you got?
Boys trip or girls trip or some sort of friend trip that is just more than just going to the bar, an overnight, golf trip.
I like it. It can be a day trip. Anything.
Yeah.
I agree. Out of town.
Yeah.
It could be a date, but it's just got to be like slightly out of town.
I do like a day trip.
Yeah.
There and back.
From LA where we live.
Yeah.
You can hit like 10 different cool day trips where you could be back same day.
And then the last thing I was thinking for a CFO that a CFO does is long-term planning. So CFO of a company is not only looking at KPIs in this quarter or next year, but 5-10 years down the line.
Oh, that's good.
And we haven't really talked about long-term planning for friendship.
Well, we know where we're going to be in 50 years. Lugers.
Yeah. Well, we know where we're going to be
set it up
on one day of the year.
No, but that has helped build out our entire friendship stability. And that's why we talk about traditions. Like they are important to plant that flag in the ground because it makes it so much easier for the upkeep. And then you've got your text chain and all that other stuff. But I love this long term.
What are some long-term goals? Like you want to would be like moving closer to your friends? Is that a strange
I like that.
goal?
I like when friends move closer to each other. We've had a lot there moving to the Oaks.
Yeah.
The Oaks blokes.
Sherman
Shout
Oaks.
out to the Oaks blokes.
The Oaks blokes. Could it be?
No, I think your goal should be to maintain or increase the closeness that you feel towards your friends, right? I think that could be a long-term one.
Yeah. Growing
with your friends, being more accepting of your friends. I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
Letting them, what we talk about, letting them, grow and accepting that, be more accepting. Your friends could be a big long-term one. Celebrating them longer term, like as you get older, like be more open to just like send your friend a gift every year. It doesn't even have to be on the birthday. Like I said, I send books out to my friends now, so we have shared experiences.
Still never gotten a book.
Yeah, he's illiterate. He's illiterate. He reads anime.
Written 7 books. He goes, you can't write.
Children's books.
And
I know. Meanwhile, we're like trying to write stuff together right now.
So you can't write for shit anyway. You want to come over and write this pilot?
I'm like, no, actually, Karo, you make this good. I dump him a draft of something.
What about even just seeing friends who don't live in your...
Oh, I like that. So you're saying long-term goals, like making sure you actually physically see a person that doesn't live in your city at certain junctures.
Because you're not going to Florida every year, but every few years you got to do something, meet in the middle.
I like that. So for our listeners who have close friends in other cities, try to start planning for the long term, for the longevity of your friendship. I was just talking to a law school buddy about this. We have no law school tradition. And he just emailed me. That reminded me, I have to put us on a chain and go, hey guys, can we just try to plan an every year or every couple of years thing where we get together? Because we live Florida, Connecticut, LA.
Yeah. I have one hack on that, which is that on purpose, okay, fly somewhere with a layover. See the friend in the layover.
Oof, layovers.
No. But it's you're doing it. So remember we did.
Oh, you mean a multiple day layover, not like hang out leave the airport for a couple hours.
Remember we had our 40th birthday trip to Jacksonville.
Yes.
On the way back, there was no way to get back direct.
That's correct.
I had an 8-hour layover in Denver. So my buddy Rob.
Okay. Should you be planning layover hangs? I don't know if I'm sold on this.
Okay. I'm here for the debate.
Layover. I hate layovers.
Of course, layovers.
But even a layover, I hate leaving the airport. I hate it.
Yeah, but what if you're?
I'm shocked that you're into this.
Well, that one,
Mr. Efficient.
That one, there was no choice.
Yeah.
But if you're going to Europe and sometimes you have to stop.
Well, we're doing that for this summer. We're stopping in New Jersey first. We're doing something called a sip and see. Have you heard of this?
Sip and see?
Yeah.
SEE?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me guess. Is it wine related?
Okay.
Sip and see. Sip and see how much you could drink? I don't know.
Sip and see the baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
Oh, that's a real thing.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
I had never heard of that before. So Jess's cousin, Jen, is hosting a sip and see for us. So for all of our people on the East Coast, because we're going to be out on the island, and we're not going to get to see everybody. So they're all going to come there. But it is like our little layover. So we planned our trip before the house is open for us, our rental house.
Right.
We're stopping and staying there for a couple of days. So kind of like what you're talking about.
So you literally, if you Google sip and see, that's a real thing.
Yep.
Oh,
I just heard of this. Hey, we're learning.
Yeah, sip and see.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, wine and seeing babies. That's like my 2 favorite activities.
Dude, you're in.
Yeah, I love it.
Sip and see guy. Can I ask you this?
Yes.
Did you think about the other job of a CFO that I think is very relevant for friendship?
Laundering money?
Hiding crimes. Yeah, you were onto it. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, I mean, that's if anything, if we're talking about CFOs, like French chief friendship.
How did I know that you were say that?
Because you've done it for me.
Yeah.
You've laundered my baggage.
That's very true.
Yeah.
very true. Yes.
Oh my God.
I mean,
it's free. Hotel laundering is very expensive,
yeah.
But friendship laundering, free.
As the CFO, you will be called upon
To launder.
every once in a while
Yeah.
to put aside
Cover
your
up.
scruples, your morals.
Cover up, bury those bodies.
I'm going to do a movie reference. Boiler Room.
Oh, yeah.
But you remember like the
I
compliance
remember
officer?
every scene in that movie.
He goes back in and late at night, he's just shredding shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The shredder.
Yeah.
You're the shredder.
yeah. You are the shredder.
You have the most paper. Everybody's always asking you for paper.
Yeah,
You're the guy who controls the paper supply.
yeah. If you're the CFO, you may be called on to do some friendship.
That's real
crimes.
friendship.
Yes. Well, I guess we're real close.
Yeah.
Should we take a look at the question?
Asking for a friend.
Guys, this is Asking for Our Friend. We will answer your friendship questions and ethical dilemmas. Send us your questions to Instagram/Man of the Year Podcast, and we'll answer them on the show. Matt, what do we got today?
So this is an interesting one. I got this question, and it's kind of the opposite of most of the questions we get. We get a lot of questions about like, oh, I just moved to this new city. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything. I don't know what to do. I'm a lost puppy.
Mm-hmm.
This one's the opposite. I'm an old dog. Everybody moved away.
Okay.
This is a woman who all of her friends moved out of New York. So she's in her 30s. She said, my friends either moved to the suburbs or moved to new cities. She said, my literal core group is all gone. And she said, my coworkers are not the same age. Like, I really don't know what to do. She said she's actually been listening to the pod and she's been trying to figure out what her third place is. So she was like, help. She was basically like, help. I leave it to you guys.
It's interesting, too, just thinking about Manhattan, because all of our friends, including us, used to live in Manhattan.
Right.
And now nobody does.
And it's shocking to me. We never covered this on the pod because we always talk about the one way of like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm moving. I moved. Everybody else moved.
Yeah.
Somebody stayed. Somebody's left behind.
I wonder if that has some also kind of a mental health effect where it's one thing if you move to a new place and you don't know anyone.
Right.
It's another thing if everyone left and you feel like you've been abandoned.
Well, I do think there's a bit of an abandonment feeling,
Yeah.
but I also think nobody's been thinking about this topic. I don't think anyone's ever, and it's also like nobody's looking out for these people. So I think as a podcast, I think I want to say this to our listeners. Can we all kind of look out for those people too? Because we've been talking about, hey, if you have somebody who's moving to a new city, like friends of friends, let people know that you're in the market for a new friend. Let's not forget that if 9 of us lived in New York and 8 of us moved out, that one person is now essentially in a city by themselves.
Do you remember what our catchphrase is when you're letting people know that you're in the market for friends? Do you know anyone?
Do you know anyone?
Do you know anyone?
Yeah. So that still applies here. Do you
Yeah.
know anyone? But I think the onus is a little bit on this listener
Yeah.
to be the friend, and you are maybe treat it like you are moving to a new city, except you have a huge advantage.
I was literally going to say that.
Oh, hit me with it.
I mean, you know everything about the city.
You're the coolest.
Yeah.
You are the freshman, somebody moves to your school. You're that freshman who knows all the spots and like, I'll show you, kid, come on,
It's like when you moved into the dorm freshman year, there was the IT guy had moved in 2 weeks
Oh,
earlier.
Yeah. Like I know I got it all. I got this city wired.
He helped
kid.
you move your couch or whatever.
Totally.
And then like 6 months in the freshman year, your mom's like, how's Jimmy? You're like, I never saw him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this case, you're the cool one.
Yeah.
You have so many advantages. You know all the spots. You know the good restaurants, the good wine bars, where the comedy clubs are.
How do you use that to your advantage though?
That's all I got.
Yeah.
No. You can use it to your advantage. Here's how. Well, we're saying you have to be the friend. So when you go to figure out what your third place is, or if it's a work
if you
friend.
encounter a new person, boom,
Right.
you're the mentor.
If you encounter a friend if you encounter a potential friend, suggest that you're going to a place and they should come along.
Well, no, we don't like the suggesting.
No. We are.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah. We're going to I don't know why I said the Empire State Building,
Yeah.
the one place that everybody knows.
Yeah. You should know the cool things, right? If you've been in New York for a long time, you know a lot of things that are not in Zagats.
Yeah. Is that even still
Fodders.
Yeah. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Time Out New York.
Do we
Is
even
that still a
want
thing?
Theo to look up?
My comedy show in 2009 was Time Out's funniest.
Was it?
I don't know, one of them.
Was it?
I don't know.
Time Out?
Yeah, I think it was in
I
there.
think I remember. I know your credits.
No. That Rouge Wine Bar, that Denial Sundays. It was in Time Out.
Okay, cool.
So I think that's, you got to use the like, I know this city like the back of my hand to your advantage.
Right.
But that's just like a thing. But in terms of the friend making, I still think you got to find your third place. You can let your work friends know. you're in the market, or make them a potential work friend. I know the age gap can be tricky.
Listen, you know who knows people? Other people.
Yeah.
Like if the 20-somethings, I'm assuming she's older, but it could be the other way.
Yeah, she said she was mid-30s.
If the 20-somethings are going to happy hour, go to the 20-something happy hour. There's a million people.
Right. Don't feel insecure about your age. I would say that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Don't feel insecure about your age.
But also,
Karo hangs out with people half his age.
But they know they have brothers. They have bosses.
Yes, I agree. After a certain age, we're all in the same mush of just trying to not be lonely.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else is a good recommendation for her. Making new friends in New York when you've been there for a while.
Yeah. I mean, you got to join some things. If you haven't joined things already, you got to join things.
Yes, you have to find your third place, whether it's with the gym, an organization.
2 things. 1, be confident in using the city as your advantage. But 2, remember our basic tip. Most people are looking for friends too.
Also, I would say if there isn't an abandonment or sadness there, like you're living in New York City, your friends left, their lives are terrible. Like moving to the suburbs, you know? Do we know what borough?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay. Yeah.
There's so much going on. Yeah. There's so much going on. And it's a city there. People are constantly moving there, constantly looking. I always say start neighborhood coffee shop. I like local. That's been my big thing lately. Is LA seems so daunting, but when you start going to your neighborhood, you start seeing people. I've made so many friends just in my neighborhood. Dog. She said she has a dog.
Oh, huge.
You got to use the dog park. And remember, you're not trying to make friends off the bat.
Right.
You just got to get out.
You just surface.
Right. So I think the tendency is to wallow in this.
Yeah.
Everybody left me. I'm just going to stay home and watch Netflix and, eat Doritos or whatever.
One other tip, and you have mentioned this to me, but I haven't forgot to tell you that in the past month, 2 separate people mentioned this to me. Bumble BFF.
Yes. That's a new app that should be sponsoring us.
They should be sponsoring us. It's actually not a new app. It's been on Bumble for years.
Oh.
I think they're spinning it out into its own app. I've had 2 people just unsolicited say one moved to LA. I can't remember the other one moved, and they used it. And they made friends.
Yep.
I mean, just for people who don't know, Bumble BFF is just like a dating app, but it's for platonic friends.
I've noticed a lot of women are using it. Are men using it too?
I've only heard from women.
Me too. That doesn't mean men aren't or can't use it. There are some other apps out there too.
Yeah. Because all it is another way to meet a person. And then you're just going to go. And if you don't like them, then you don't ever hang out with them again.
By the way, your friends who moved out owe you. They have to they got to connect. They got to set you up with somebody in the city too.
Yeah.
They abandon you.
I agree with
you. Be like, hey, who do you know that's still in the city? Like you gotta set me up.
They're living in the suburbs, hating their lives, wishing they never left.
Yeah. No, we love the suburbs. Suburbs are great too.
Yeah. Do we?
No, but we have to have a lot of fans. I would say 80% of our fans live in the suburbs, so I'd be careful.
Okay, it's pretty.
They have those like pineapple sex parties. You know that? The pineapple thing.
Yes.
If you see a pineapple outside their house,
you
just knock on the door and go, orgy?
Yeah. You think that's what the suburbs are like?
I think so. I don't know. Are they not? That's what I hear from some of our Roslyn listeners. Shout out, Brad.
All right. So did we answer the question?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let us know how it goes. We're happy to help. Use this as a resource. We want to know how your journey of making new friends goes.
Yeah. Remember, you're the cool kid.
Yeah,
everybody else
cool.
is new and moving to the city. They're going to want to be friends with you. Just remember that.
Asking for a friend.
All right, that was asking for a friend. If you have a friendship question, hit us up on Instagram and we will answer on the show.
So, Kara, what did we learn?
We learned that you should treat friendship like a job, that you need to be the CFO, the chief friendship officer of your life, which means being intentional, being mindful, and occasionally
doing crimes.
Doing crimes on your friend's behalf.
On their behalf.
Yeah.
Right. If you're doing it on your own for your own personal gain, not as cool.
But if you're listening to this podcast now, we want you to just think about as you continue on your drive, who can I reach out to? Who can I tell that I miss or I love or I appreciate them? Who can I make plans with?
Who can I start a tradition with?
Who can I start a tradition or a ritual with? What are my KPIs for the rest of the year?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Theo, do we have anything today? Wait, this is Erroneous with Thelonious.
Yeah, so the only thing that was tasked with was the Zagat pronunciation.
It's Zagat.
Yeah.
Is
correct.
it Zagat?
Shocking.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
What about fodders? Fodders?
I think it's voters.
Is it
Also,
Why are they both?
Also, nobody has used these things in literally at least 10
How am I
years.
dating myself?
Do you remember Sheckies?
What are Sheckies? What do they use now?
They use the internet. They use Yelp.
No, that's dating yourself.
No, Yelp.
Yelp is like 2014.
I used Yelp yesterday.
Okay, listeners, we settle a debate. Is Yelp still relevant in 2023?
Literally, you're going to get a 100% pro me.
We will find out.
What do you do when you're looking for a restaurant?
Not Yelp.
What do you look
Eater LA, loser.
Well, this has been about being mindful with your friendships, telling that you love them. And, well, I usually sign off with be good to yourself, be good to your friends, but maybe I should just go fuck myself.
No, you should look up a restaurant and take me there off of Yelp. I love you, Kiro.
All right. Wait, what?
I don't even know.
Love you, buddy. Love you.